Okay, Algebra Basics. This is going to be lesson 2. It's going to be over ratios and rates. Now, I'm going to see if these two ratios are equal by cross multiplying. Okay, I take the top number on the left, multiply by the bottom number on the right. Okay, so that 6 times 9 is 54. I'm going to write it over here. And on the right side on the top and the bottom side on the left, I'm going to multiply 10 times 5, I get 50. Okay, those are not equal, so that means these ratios are not equal. Okay, here I have a ratio that has real-world applications. For example, $3 is a price of 18 ounces. Now, a lot of times, it helps to know what the unit rate is. Okay, that's unit rate. And the way I find that is I try to divide, or in other words, since it's a fraction, I reduce by dividing on the top and the bottom until I get to my desired unit rate. Okay, in this case, since it's 18 ounces, I may want to know the price of 1 ounce. Okay, so I need to get from 18 to 1 ounce. And to do that, I'm going to divide by 18. Now, I also have to divide the top $3 by 18. Okay? And that will give me the price for 1 ounce. So whatever the price is, it should go here. How much does 1 ounce cost? So when I do 3 divided by 18, I can first reduce it to 1 over 6. 3 divided by 3 is 1, and 18 divided by 3 is 6. So it costs 1/6 of a dollar for 1 ounce. Okay, and then to find out how much 1/6 of a dollar is, I can do 1 divided by 6, and I'll get okay, so it looks like it's going to be 0.16 repeating, so let's round that to 17 cents. 17 cents per ounce. Okay, that is my unit rate. Use simplifying fractions when you can to make things smaller and easier to work with. Okay, here's another application for using ratios and rates. The question is, how many seconds are in 3 days? To do that, I need to know first the conversions. Also, I want to know where I start out with, 3 days, and where I'm going to end. How many seconds? So at the end, I need to know how many seconds. So to do that, I start with the biggest unit. Okay, so 1 day, the next unit down is hours. So what I do is I'm going to go from days to hours. So I'm going to write the unit first, hours. That's my goal. Okay, notice how I write it on the top up here, and what I was going from days, I write it on the bottom. Okay, so days to hours. In 1 day, okay, so I can erase the S because it's just 1 day. Day, there are 24 hours. So in 3 days, that means 3 times 24. Next unit over, I start with hours, and what's the unit underneath hours? Minutes. Okay, and then I was going from hours, so I'm going to write hours on the bottom. Okay, notice days top, days bottom. Okay, the idea is they're going to cancel. Here, hours top, hours bottom. The idea is they're going to cancel. That's what you want to happen. Okay, now in 1 hour, there are 60 minutes. So I write 60 right there. Then I go to the next step, seconds. So that's my goal, to get to seconds. I know that in 1 minute, there are 60 seconds. Okay, so I know it looks all cluttered, but let's start from the top and go to the end. Okay, days cancel with days. In 1 day, there's 24 hours. Hours cancel with hours. In 1 hour, there are 60 minutes. Minutes cancel with minutes. In 1 minute, there are 60 seconds. So where I started with days, I should end with seconds by going through this whole process. 3 times 24 times 60 times 60. Okay, 3 times 24 is 72. And then I do times 60 times 60. Okay. if I know what 60 times 60 is first, I can just go ahead and multiply that. That's 6 times 6 is 36, and I have 2 zeros, 3600 altogether. Then I can multiply that times 72. Multiply 3600 times 72, and I got 259,200. 259, comma 200. Okay, that's how many seconds are in 3 days. I'm going to write my correct units, seconds. That is my answer. Okay. The important part was I used my unit rates. Okay, there are several of them. Okay, look, 1, 2, 3. Okay, I used several of them to get from my starting point, 3 days, to my ending point, seconds. Notice how I put my starting point and my ending point on the same level, okay? And throughout, I go through this process of multiplying by unit rates. And the important part of multiplying by these unit rates is that the units, they have to kind of cancel out. So you need one on top, one on the bottom, so that they'll cancel out days, hours, minutes. So you end up with the correct unit that you want at the end, seconds. And so I had to multiply all these 4 numbers, my starting times these unit rates, to get to my very final answer down here.